Hello, everyone from Chelsea Fan TV. Welcome back to another episode of the Blue Balls podcast. I think we're on episode 37 now, so we're ticking away. We're getting there, finding that consistency, and we're going to start off with our Match Bingo sponsors, guys. If you have not heard of Match Bingo, we talk about them practically every week at this point, every video. It's bingo with a twist. Instead of playing with numbers, you play with in-game stats, things that happen in a match. It could be goals, assists, penalties, you name it. If it's on your bingo lines and you have it and it happens, you win. Simple as that. Costs £2 to enter. You can win hundreds of pounds, guys. You've got to be over 18. Check out Match Bingo. The link is in the description. But boys, always a pleasure to have you on. How are we all doing, guys?
Good, man. Can't complain. It was a good weekend, seeing Arsenal lose, seeing United drop points, and obviously yesterday, seeing Arsenal crash out of the Champions League, seeing Man City crash out to in the Champions League, Kovacic missing a penalty, Rudiger getting the winner. Bro, it was a nice few days. I can't lie. Obviously, and then we won 6-0 as well against Everton. Me and Dan had no confidence. We predicted a loss, didn't we, Dan? 2-1 loss. Yeah. So I'm happy right now.
I'll be honest, I didn't actually watch the Arsenal game, but I just saw the fan cams on AFTV. They were just talking about Havertz being a complete ghost. That made me smile.
Bro, he was he was bad, man. He was bad. He basically was non-existent in the game. It's like he wasn't there, bro.
And then Arteta was talking after the game saying that they don't have a striker that scores 40 or 50 goals. Like, that's a normal thing for every team to have. I'm like, Come on, man. But I still think that Arteta is doing a good job with Arsenal, but they're bottle merchants. That doesn't change anything. But yeah, no trophies this year, boys. Next year, maybe. We'll see what happens. How are you doing, Dan?
Yeah, all good, mate. All good. Same as Dom, really. It's been a good week. All the fixtures we wanted to go our way have. So it's been enjoyable. It's nice to watch the football and not have to stress about it and just enjoy teams going out as well midweek. Yeah. So yeah, it's good.
It's good quality.
It makes me miss the Champions League a lot more, though, man.
Huh?
It makes me miss the Champions League so much more, man.
Yeah, it does. It don't hit the same, does it, when your team's not in it? But that's why it looks so important that we have to get back in. Even watching like Aston Villa just before we started now, like I miss it. Even if it was the Conference League next season, I'd rather be in it than not at all.
Yeah. Mate, we finished 12th last season, and we got knocked out in the quarterfinals to European heritage. Arsenal in their greatest period get knocked out in the quarterfinals as well. You know what I'm saying?
Mate, I have rattled some people on TikTok. Let me tell you that, man. Oh my gosh. I literally said pretty much what you said, Don. And they are not happy. Arsenal fans love a nibble, don't they? Oh my God.
Mate, they're so easy to just, what I mean? Just reel them in. It's so easy, bro. It's always been like that, even before social media. It's so easy to rattle them.
I saw a bunch of the big creators on Twitter as well. They all got banned by the Arsenal admin. Is that even real? I couldn't figure it out.
Probably
Lewis, CFC mod, they've all been blocked.
I think it is real, yeah.
Oh my God.
That's because they know London's blue, mate.
That's it, man.
They'll probably get a lot of messages, yeah.
You're the only one wearing blue today, my friend. How are you feeling?
Same as always. Like, blood just reflecting off what they've like. It's been a good week, hasn't it? Arsenal bottling it, Liverpool flopping, Arsenal getting knocked out, City getting knocked out last night, Rudiger scoring the winning penalty, Pogba missing the big head fucker. It's all good so far, and just a bit of a 6-0, just in the middle of it. But with all the emotions, the roller coaster, there's got to be a down. And hopefully it's not the weekend against City. So, just keep on focused on what we've got to do, really. We've just got to go and beat City. It's a massive game for us. A chance to get into Europe. Like the 6-0 win on Monday, I'm not getting carried away with it. I still feel like I can't. Like, with this team at the minute, so 6-0 wasn't even celebrating. Like, with a 6-0, I'd usually be happy. But I just know with this team, they'll win 6-0 the next game. They'll just be less than average. So how can I get excited? I just want some consistency. So
do you know what, Kev? This time around, I was actually celebrating. And the reason being is because we actually performed well. We looked good.
We did. Defensively on set plays, looked okay. Attacking wise, brilliant. Some of the little triangles, Cole Palmer's second goal, especially his first goal, sorry, that little flick round the side, 1-2 with Jackson. It looks good. It looks good in the eye, but we all know with this Chelsea team, lads. There's no point getting excited. I'd rather go and win 1-0 against Brentford, 1-0 against Burnley, 1-0 against Sheffield United, and 1-0 against Everton, rather than win 6-0 against Everton and then flop the other games. So this is the reason why I can't be like, oh wow, 6-0, because I know against City, what team's going to turn up? Like,
Exactly.
You see what I'm trying to say? I'm not broken with this team at the moment. They could have scored 30 goals and I would have still be the same.
I think do you know what it is for me? In isolation, that game in isolation, I was like I said, I was happy because I predicted that we'd lose the game. I wasn't confident at all, man. You guys heard what I was saying last week against Everton. I thought we were gonna make it a dogfight, you know, but we controlled the game. We controlled the game in large parts, man. And we killed them. That's what I wanted us to do.
But the thing is, though, it's Everton. This is what we've got to keep on realizing. Their right side alone, as an average age, is 55. Same as Coleman and Ashley Young, like granddads out here. So
yeah, but they beat us. The thing is, we can say all of this, but they beat us early on in the season. You were there, Kev.
I know. That was the worst performance we've had.
Everton matched the profile of the teams that we've lost to this season. So to actually go and win 6-0 said something for me. I felt like Pochettino obviously got a message across because the players actually looked like they were under some sort of instruction for the first time in a long time. Yeah, I feel like they did. I feel like
what was the instructions for that?
The penalty, Kev. The penalty comes from months and months of lack of leadership, right, and lack of not making choices where he should have. He's only said a few months ago that there isn't a penalty taker, and then now after the game, he's saying Cole Palmer is. That's what happens when you aren't a leader. Like
this is the thing, though. Like I've seen a couple of on the Sky Sports, Dele Alli was on there, and he come up with a great suggestion. Palmer steps up the penalties in last minutes and scores. So why would Madueke bring himself to take a penalty when we're 4-0 up and he's grabbing the ball off other players? That just goes to show, like, he's not a team player.
But Kev, he did the same thing at Man United, and they still took the ball off him. So I didn't like that comparison because he did try and take
Madueke. For me personally, it's happened 3 times now. The third time, it shouldn't have taken 3 times. Like, how many times have you seen players arguing over penalties, arguing over free kicks? He should have got this nipped in the bud from the first time. So
we know that as a manager, Kev, he ain't doing that, is he? Like, how many times have we seen us make mistakes on the pitch that he ain't nipped in the bud, or how many times have we drawn games that we should have won that he hasn't learnt from? But I felt like, bar the penalty incident, the football that we played was the right type of football that we needed to play against Everton if we stood any chance of winning, and we did so. And I think that was good to see. Like, any weaknesses we had, they weren't exposed for the first time in a long time. Hence why we managed to keep a clean sheet as well. So, yeah, look, I think a massive thing about that was Conor Gallagher not being in the 10. I think a lot of some people have spoke about it, but I feel like it's been overlooked a little bit because of how good Cole Palmer was. But Cole Palmer was allowed to be that good because he's far better in that role than Conor Gallagher is. And it just shows how much better our team can be. When you remove Conor from the 10, look, Conor had a good game, deeper, but the real thing is actually putting a better player in the 10 that can link that midfield to attack, and it just changed it for me massively.
And people are trying to run this narrative that all of a sudden now Gallagher can play in the pivot. And I keep telling them, listen, the reason why Gallagher looked good there, because the whole team was confident, bro. Confident on the ball because we were killing Everton, right? We were 3-0 up in 20 minutes or something like that. You know, the team started to take risks. They looked a lot comfortable on the ball. Everton, you could see that they were starting to give up. They weren't pressing Gallagher as much. Initially, they were pressing us quite high, man. And I expected Everton to come and play a low block. But like Dan has said, this is the sort of team that Chelsea have hated playing because our players are small, right? And we don't win our duels like that. Do you know what I'm saying? So I said in my preview on my channel, I said, listen, if we make this a dogfight, we're going to lose the game. We need to play them off the park. We need to pop them off the park. And that's exactly what we did. And listen, we've been criticizing Poch, but big him up for this one, man. I expected him to start Gallagher, so I'm not going to, do this fake outrage like, why did Gallagher start? Because for me, I put Carney in the pivot. But I did expect Gallagher to start because he's Poch's guy and he's the captain. But what I did say is I need to see Madueke on one side, I need to see Mudryk on the other side, and I need to see Cole Palmer in that 10 linking the attack. And you can see exactly why I wanted that because, again, like Dan said, he's the conductor. Everything goes through him. And again, we play a lot better when he's up there. The attack's a lot more fluid. You know, there's better relationships. Palmer and Madueke, they're used to playing with each other there because of England under 21s. They've played there together a lot of times. Do you know what I'm saying? So they already have that relationship, you know. So yeah, man, that's what we asked for from Poch. We asked for you to play your best players in their best positions. Obviously, you know, for this game, cool, play Gallagher there. But up against Man City, bro, we can't play him there because Man City are going to press him high, and he's going to be the trigger for the press if he's played in the pivot. And he does not like getting pressed. He doesn't like getting pressed there in the pivot.
City don't really press though. They
do.
They keep the ball that well, but
City do press, Kev, off the ball. City press,
yeah, as soon as they lose it, Kev, they win it back within like 7 seconds.
They're onto you, bro. City press, bro. Why do you think Palmer's good at pressing himself? Because he learned that from City.
Well, you never hardly see him. What I'm trying to get to, you hardly see him press though. Like last night, if you've seen the game last night, they
don't lose the ball. Kev. That's why they don't lose the ball. So
that's what I was going to say. So obviously,
they do press.
Yeah.
And they press high as well. They definitely
I think this game is more suited for Gallagher than anyone else because Gallagher's good at the press. So for me, he played well in the return, the Etihad game.
Yeah, but then what Don is saying is that Gallagher isn't going to be press resistant to Manchester City's high, extremely good press. Like that they do so well and have done for years.
But that's down to
where Conor Gallagher excels
we're not going to have the
transition. Right, that Connor's strengths are in transition. Yeah, and then we've seen against Manchester City when we went away, Conor Gallagher's transitional strengths helped us to get a draw there. So I can see an argument from both sides, but we don't even know if Enzo's fit, do we?
He'll be back. Apparently, he'll be back for this one. And Kev,
right.
you're saying that we're not going to have the ball. I think City are good on the ball. Yeah, I'm not going to disrespect them because they're one of the best teams we've seen. But when we want to play football, we're good on the ball as well. We know how to keep the ball when we've got players next to each other. Not, this mad proximity where one player's there, one player's there. When our players are closer, they know how to keep the ball because they're quite technical. And if you remember, like I said, when we played at the Etihad, the first half, we were literally looking at the home team, bro. We were keeping the ball quite well. So I think you're obviously Man City or Man City, but for you to say they're just going to have the ball. I don't agree, bro. I don't agree because I think that it's gonna go both ways depending on how Poch sets up.
From the game I seen, we hardly had the ball at Etihad. It was a similar kind of game to last night where we had Caicedo and Enzo sitting in front of the back four and we're just pressing, getting the ball and counter-attacking. Obviously, with that in mind.
That's half well, man. We were definitely the better team, bro. Like in large part, we had the ball, and we were beating their press quite well. Because I remember after that, I was thinking, we've made ourselves at home. It's in the second half when he brought on Chalobah. That's when we lost control of the game. We were just sitting back and waiting for them to score, basically, and they ended up scoring in the end. That's when I was annoyed at Poch because I was like, we should have just carried on doing what was doing in the first half. But he got scared and he was like, no, I need extra protection. Do you know what I mean? So. On that, we can't go into the game having that mentality of that weak mentality that he had at the Etihad. That weak mentality that he had last time was at Wembley. We are telling these not to go play for penalties.
When you say what do you mean by that? Do you mean sitting back? Is that where you're coming from?
Sitting back against Man City is not a smart thing to do. Yeah.
No, that's the only thing to do, though, Don.
No. There's a difference. Let me land my point. There's a difference. Yeah. There's off the ball against Man City, you want to keep a good shape, get good compact shape, close all the little pockets because Man City are very good at picking up the pockets. Foden, Bernardo Silva, Grealish, all these guys in the pockets are very good, yeah. But what I'm saying is off the ball, right? I don't want us to be completely in a deep line, just sitting back. There's a difference between a low block and a mid block. I'd rather have a mid block against Man City. So when we do get the ball back, we can easily transition to the other side. Right.
Okay.
And then towards the end of the game, before winning the game, that's when you sit back a little bit more. If you do it too early, like what we did at the Etihad, bro, there's only so long you can do that for against Man City. Look how many headers Disasi was winning, and they still ended up scoring because too much pressure is not good pressure, bro. It's not. And against a team like Man City, they will score against you eventually if they keep peppering you. Do you know what I mean? So we can't be too gun ho, but we can't be too reserved. Is what I'm getting at. Do you know what I mean?
I think we're speaking the same language then, Don. We're just saying counter-attacking football and not a high press.
Transition football.
That's
That's what it was. That's what it was in the last game. We counter-attacked him, and that's why we got our goal.
Yeah, but
that's
what
why we
Don
got the
is
majority
saying
of
is
our
that
chances through counter-attack.
Yeah, but what Don is saying is that counter-attack is a very broad term. Don is suggesting where that counter-attack starts on the pitch. If you're Manchester City and you're Liverpool, your counter-attack starts extremely high up because you press really high and you never really drop into a block. Whereas if you're Chelsea, we, for 70 minutes, sat in a mid-block, got it really right against Manchester City away at the Etihad. But for the last 20 minutes, he brought on that extra centre-back, dropped us in really low, and we just invited them on, and they just battered us into conceding a goal. So what Don's saying is that we have to have that first 70 minutes and not concede. Maybe, look, if we're 2-0 up, then maybe you're dropping in the last 15 minutes into a low block. But you can't do that at 1-0 against Manchester City. You've got to keep taking the game to them. And you know what? After the week that they've had, I would back us to outplay Manchester City for over 90 minutes in terms of fitness and in terms of what we can do in terms of distance covered as well, because they're going to be exhausted, whether or not their squad is bigger than ours or whoever they've got fit. Like, they've had a tough week. So
yeah,
I feel like we should be in
they got at the moment.
Well, they got a few, but they're obviously going to have some sort of niggles.
No, they don't. They don't, man. Everyone's fit, bro.
De Bruyne and Haaland came up. De Bruyne and Haaland went off last night, apparently complaining of being a bit fatigued. So they come off after 80, 90 minutes. So I don't know if that's anything linked to an injury, but that they came off.
KDB weren't even good against us when we played them. He was just trying to spam things into the box. He wasn't good against us, to be honest with you, man. But yeah, like Dan said, listen, we need to take advantage of the fact that they've had a game yesterday. Obviously, Man City, when they lose, they always want to come back on vengeance. That's one thing about them. They want to, the next game, Pep's like, yo, listen, we better win this game, you know? And they're still going to want to do a double. Obviously, they're not going to do a treble this time round. Unlucky, boys, you're not going to get 2 Champions League just yet, you know? We had to wait 10 years for our next one. So you're not going to have to bake off a little bit. But yeah, man, we just need to make sure that every single person has 8 out of 10. Yeah, 8 out of 10 performance like last time. Everyone needs to be locked in. Every single person from Gusto. I don't want to see Gusto being nervous like he was last time at Wembley. You know, kicking the ball off the pitch. Disasi, I need to see that if he starts the game. Yeah, because we'll go through the lineup after. If he starts the game, I better not see no sloppiness from him as well. You know, Thiago Silva, don't go into tackles half-heartedly. Go in there, you know, like a man, bro, not like an old man. I know you're 39.
Get injured though.
Say that again.
He'll get injured.
It don't matter, bro. Put your body on the line. That's what guys like John Terry used to do. That's what guys like Gary Cahill used to do. That's what Carvalho used to do. They used to die, for the badge. You know what I'm saying? Rudiger. All of these guys, bro, they used to put their body on the line. I don't want to see no timid stuff and I'm looking at the replay and guys are doing this, they're closing that. No, bro, none of that. Everyone put your body on the line. Yeah, we need to beat Man City, bro. It's taken too long. Under Tuchel, we beat them, 3 times in like 6 weeks. Now, we struggle to beat them. And usually, it's not even a game where it's like they pepper us, yeah? It's usually us just missing our chances. Even last year when we lost 4 times, all those games, as much as we lost 4 times, we missed some stupid chances in those games, bro. Stupid chances. I remember Lewis Hall, when we went away, he was creating some good chances. I remember Havertz missing chances. I remember Kepa, the idiot, for what's his name, for Mahrez at the bridge, literally just before the ref blew the whistle, right? It was towards the end of the game, innit? When he did that. Yeah, and he just let the ball run across him. There's been some silly individual mistakes in this game. That's what I'm saying. Every single person needs to be switched on for this game. Do you know what I mean?
For me, Pochettino's got Pep's number, and he's always done something against Pep, whether it was at Tottenham or even now. I don't know what it is, because we all agree that his tactics are a little bit meh, but whatever it is, I want to see it. For me, I completely agree with what you guys are saying. 70 minutes, a good 70 minutes, and then if you want to sit back, that's fine. But then I don't think it's on the manager. I think at that point it's on the players. Obviously he has to make life easier for them. He has to make the decisions that are going to give the defenders a little bit more support, allow the spaces to be closed so City can't break us down. If we're going to concede, it's got to be a wonder goal, not a goal like Sheffield. I've watched that video back so many times, Kev, when you were screaming at my face, calling me a dickhead. But you know what, Kev? At that point,
I wasn't
I
calling you
felt
a
like
dickhead, bro. I was calling Poch a
no,
dickhead.
it was bad. Like, I agree with you.
I was calling his Poch, not you, bro. Why would I call you?
Alex, reenact it.
Why would I call you a dickhead for, brother? Like,
I don't know, Kev. I
it was
don't
Poch.
know.
It was Poch. It was Poch because of his stupidity, bringing on
It's all
freaking
good though, Kev.
defenders.
It's all good. It's all good. But you know,
Yeah.
like after that, I even said I'm struggling to defend this guy. But again, what I said at the beginning of the season, and you know, it brings me back to West Ham when we lost away. It was one of the opening games. That's what process is. You know, there's going to be some shaky moments where you really question it, but if you push through, then you're going to find out. Or as some people say, so you fuck around and find out. But the only difference is you're fucking around with Chelsea Football Club, which is obviously not great. But that's what a process is. And there's no other way for me or anyone else to explain it. If Poch wins the FA Cup, we've had a fucking successful season. I'm sorry. We've had a successful season. 2 domestic cup finals, a cup win as well, European football, a clear progression upon the season before, and a group of players who actually want to be here. That, in my mind, is a successful season. People talk about standards, silverware, and there you go. So I would love to win the FA Cup. I think that, not that we need to shut up a lot of fans, because again, there's been some really, really bad moments, but it would be nice to see that as one of the few people who've actually stuck with Poch. Not that I'm his biggest fan, but I still think he can do a job. It'd be nice to see that comes through and we actually have some success from it. But yeah, I mean, it's not going to be an easy one. I mean, let me ask you this, boys. Do you think that Man City is a better draw for us than if we had Coventry or Man United?
Nah. No way. Come on. Championship opposition against Coventry. Like,
I'll be
way.
honest with you, mate. I would honestly I'd feel worse against Coventry. The way
No,
they're
I wouldn't. We
playing.
beat Leeds and we beat Leicester. I would feel fine
Yeah, but we
against them.
barely beat. I mean, if
Yeah,
you
but
look
we're
at some of
talking
the
about
football
Leeds and
taken those
Leicester at the
games.
top end of the championship as well. I don't think Coventry are there. Not
You
this
know what?
season.
I'd rather play City in the semis, man. Because if you beat them, I'd rather do it this way around. Because Man City in the final, that's just gonna give me. I can't lie. I'll be thinking, yo, these men are gonna wanna get revenge for beating them in the Champions League final, right? And obviously, again, they want to win a double. So if we deal with them right now, I'm sorry, I'm looking at us and thinking, yo, Coventry, I know you lot are doing your thing right now. Cool. Sims dunked on us last season. Hopefully, he can't dunk on us again. They've got man like Casey Palmer. He used to play for Chelsea as well, you know. And then you've got Man United right now, who I'm sorry, if you set up correctly against those guys, you know, you should be beating them, really and truly, you know. Don't make it a ping-pong game. You got to control that midfield. You got to control that game. I think we've got more of a chance of beating those two teams than beating City in the final. I know it's a one-off game, but City are just mentality monsters. And these guys are kids. These guys are fragile. You know, the manager's fragile. Our team's fragile. So I'd actually rather play City now, you know. It kind of reminds me of, remember when Arsenal won the FA Cup and then they played City, they beat them. They played us, they beat us in the final as well. So yeah, I'm kind of looking at it like that. So I don't know, man. I don't want to jinx anything, but I'm just hoping that these, man, the fact that they were at Wembley just a few weeks ago, that should help them now. They're familiar with it, you know. It's not going to be new to them because it was new to a lot of people. That's the first time I've seen Gusto that scared. I've seen Gusto countless times in person this season, and he's so good on the ball. But at Wembley, I'm looking at him like, yo, this guy's feet are trembling, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? So we just have to hope that these guys now, this time around, they're a little bit more comfortable because they've been there before, you know?
Yeah.
It's all experience at the end of the day. And irrespective of what happens.
Experience. So obviously, Thiago Silva's definitely leaving. We need cover at the back, centre-back positions. It's been horrendous. Some of the leadership coming from them areas. Jose Maria Jimenez from Atletico Madrid's been linked with ourselves and United. Who take him? Definitely me.
I don't know, man. If you want to play expansive football, like I'm not really seeing it because I've never seen Jimenez play in a system where you actually try and play out.
He's just a defender. He's just a rock solid. He just defends, puts his head on the line. He's 29 years old, experienced, played how many seasons under a top quality manager. I think he suits us. That's the kind of player we need. Someone at that age. I don't think we should be replacing Thiago Silva with a Diamande from Sporting. I think Jimenez has been there, done it. He's won leagues with Atletico Madrid. He's got the experience at international level as well. So I don't know about you boys, but I'd prefer to go for someone at that age bracket. What do you think?
I mean, why is he gonna come Chelsea when he's at Atletico Madrid? Like, that's the first question I'd have. But I'm not saying he's not a good player. I think he's a good player, but I feel like you're right in terms of profile, in terms of age. But I just don't. Right now, if we don't get Europe, I don't see why players are going to want to join Chelsea. Like, I just don't see our pull at this moment in time. If they've got options,
What's this?
if they don't have options, and we're the biggest club in for them, right? Then I understand it. You see, like Cole Palmer, it was Burnley or Chelsea. I understand why he's coming Chelsea. But if it's Jimenez, I believe we have better options. You're telling me one of the Italian teams won't take him? Like, I just can't see why they choose Chelsea at them. Yeah, I know it's the Prem, but the Prem ain't what it's cracked up to be. Let's be real. Let's look at Europe.
German leagues.
I agree with that, Dan. The Prem is overrated, but it's still the
German league's gone clear this season. If you think about it in logical terms,
why won't he go Saudi as well? Do you know what I mean? Like, it wouldn't be outrageous to suggest, that a 29-year-old South American player would go to Saudi Arabia, because it's already happened the whole of last summer. Like, I know the league's obviously been quiet for all of us, and the press haven't really covered it throughout the season. But like, the money's still there, and they're still aiming for what they want to aim for. So like, I just don't see
these being a viable option. I'm trying to get to them. These are the players that we need to be going for. What I'm talking about.
I don't disagree. We need experience. We've got in a running for it.
Yeah, it's just a thought. Obviously, I've seen the transfer news, and ourselves United have been linked to him, and I think that is the player. He'd be very ideal.
What's his name?
Jimenez, the centre back from Uruguay.
Hold on.
He's a centre back from Uruguay.
Okay. Jose Jimenez, yeah?
Yeah.
You'd know him. He's been around for time at
Athletic. Mate.
Absolutely solid.
Loves his shit
he's a little pit bull, man.
Yeah, solid. Absolutely solid. I think that's what we need. We need someone like that. I don't want us to go for any more young centre backs. If Thiago Silva goes, really, what are we like? When Thiago Silva's in the squad, we seem a bit more organised. When he leaves that back line, I'm scared for next season. I really am. If we go and bring in another youngster, who else is going to step up and lead from the back? So it's that's a massive thing. I think we're talking about strikers and this and another. I think another centre back of experience is probably as important for me.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that. I do agree with you. I don't know about Jimenez though, man. I agree with Dan. I don't think Jimenez picked.
I haven't watched enough of him to really comment. I'll be honest. I don't really watch. Athletic. I don't watch him, man.
You'd know him. He's been around Champions League for years.
No, I know who he. I know who he is. I know what sort of player he is, but I just don't watch him enough to say I want him at Chelsea. Is what I'm saying. Yeah. Like, for me to want to prop up a player, I have to watch a good amount of games, man.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I think it's one of the. It could. For me, it could be one of them Koulibaly situations where you're going out getting a great player, and then it just doesn't turn out to be all that because different league, can't adapt, doesn't like the culture. There's obviously personal elements that go into it.
Don't speak the language. A lot of the South Americans don't. Yeah, some of them they've Spanish in it. You might not speak the language as well.
Still could have Poch there next year. So
hope not. Still Poch out, but
Yeah. What's it going to take? What's it going to take if Poch wins the cup? Are you Poch in?
No,
that ain't enough.
It won't be one on. I think me and Don would agree on this. That it would be on evidence, and an Everton performance like that is the start, right? But we need 10 games like that to then go. Okay, he's learning. The squad's learning. That's what you want to see. You know what? Yeah, I'd rather finish the season like we played against Everton in every single game. And lose the final or lose to City, right? But no, we've played really well, right? And then I'll go, do you know what? I can see something in Pochettino. Now, listen, I can see something in Pochettino. Pochettino has actually gone, Everton was right. That's how my team need to play at Chelsea. The fans got behind me. The fans could see what I wanted. Cole Palmer understood me, my best player. My defenders understood me. They kept a clean sheet. And if we continued like that, and it meant we didn't win anything, I'd go next season. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. It took him a long time, longer than any of us think it should have taken, but he's made progress in the final 10 matches of the season. Yeah.
I can see
if
where you're
we
coming
don't,
from.
and we say we beat City in a one-off game, and then Man United flop, and we beat Coventry in the FA Cup because we just get there because Poch has got jammy with a lucky draw or whatever. I ain't going to back Poch even if he wins the FA Cup.
Yo, exactly, because it's
I need
paper
evidence.
because it's
learning.
Exactly.
Yeah, but ultimately, boys, it's about winning, isn't it?
No, yes.
Yeah, no,
yes,
but no, Kev,
yes,
there's a difference. Of course, you want to win, right? And you'll take a win however you want to get it. But the fact of the matter is,
so finishing in the Europa League spot top
look,
6.
Rafa Benitez and Harry both won at Chelsea, but there were massive issues there, and that's why they left.
It'll be papering over the cracks. If we win the FA Cup,
top 6 and the FA Cup, top 6.
No. See, that's different. That's different now. For me, the only way I see us getting top 6, is if we perform better.
The evidence will be there if we play top 6.
If we carry on playing the ping pong football, lack of control football, I don't think we'll get top 6. If we play like how we did against Everton, more controlled and like I don't know, was it you that said it earlier about was it National? I think it was Dan about clear instructions and that. Yeah, if Poch sets us up correctly and the players are played in their best positions, then I can see us getting into the top 6 because then I think the team will play better. But if he just gets us the FA Cup and we're still seeing the same problems, I'm not going to say, yeah, you can stay because you've won us a trophy. At the end of the day, I'll be like, cool, still get the hell out of it. Thank you for that. But let's move on to someone else who can actually help us have something which is more sustainable. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? You know, and it's actually mad. We ain't lost a game since Liverpool, right? That's the last time we lost, yeah, against Liverpool. But it feels like we've lost more recently because of our performances more recently, if that makes sense. It doesn't feel like it's been that long. Like, it was a rival that reminded me. He's like, oh yeah, but you lot haven't lost in ages. I was like, wait, when was the last time we actually lost? And I checked it. I think it's actually Liverpool. I think that's the last loss that we have. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying, Kev. Like, we've been drawing games. We've won a few games here and there, but I don't feel like we have because I just feel like, you know, the performances haven't been given me that.
It's all over the place. It's too inconsistent.
It's just way too.
Like I said to you at the start, like, that 6-0 win, I'm not even excited about it because, like Dan said, I want to see some consistency. But ultimately, it's about winning. And these board members are not going to, let's be real, these board members are not going to sack him if he wins the FA Cup and he finishes in the top 7, top 8. They're not going to.
They won't. But as fans,
they're going to say it as, Dave, he's won something. Doesn't matter how he performed. They're going to say he's won something.
Yeah, but think about this.
And then listen, and maybe they support him with more experienced players for him to build on something next year. Right now as you speak, I don't believe his performances have done him any justice. I still think he needs to build more structure within the team and for more stability, like you just said.
The thing is with me, Kev, it's like this, like your kids, yeah. Let's say your kids are like not studying and that for their exams, yeah, and they're trying to take the easy way out. You know, they go into the exam hall and they're cheating, right? As a dad, Kev, you ain't gonna want your kids to do that. You're gonna find it hard to support them if they've cheated their way to go and to get good grades. You'll feel better. You'll feel better knowing that they've worked hard to get there, right? It's the same thing with Poch. I would feel better supporting him, knowing that we're playing well. You know, I can see improvement. I can see something sustainable, and we win something. Or if we don't win something, if we don't win the final, cool, whatever. It's annoying, but at least I can see something to build from. But if we just scam a trophy and I'm still seeing the same shit, I can't support that, bro. I'm sorry. I have to be honest to myself. I just can't support it. That's the best way to put it.
I understand, but I understand this clearly because, like you said, it's taking him up to what we're now, more or less the end of April, for him to find a penalty taker. Little things like this is what irritated me, bro. Like these structures should be in place. As a manager of at any level, you have your dedicated penalty takers, you have your dedicated corner takers, dedicated throw-ins. Everything is structured, written down, planned ahead, so everyone knows what they're doing. We see man arguing over penalties against Leicester. We see man arguing against penalties in what was the other game where he snatched the ball. I think it was Arsenal.
United.
Oh, that was Sterling. Sterling tried to take it at Arsenal as well, and then
Sterling tried to take the ball against Arsenal as well. And
that's what I'm saying.
So it's
same thing against Leicester as well. He done it there, but Palmer let him.
From Pochettino, it's been going on for months, and that's why it's fine. The media have finally got hold of it in a game against Everton. Like, it's taken that long though. But as Chelsea fans, we've been seeing it the whole time. We've been saying Pochettino lacks leadership because he can't come in there to a bunch of kids and say, no, you're the penalty taker. Like, what's wrong with you? Like, you're meant to be a manager of big egos, some of the biggest egos you've ever seen in football. And the guy can't go in there and say, you're my penalty taker to a bunch of kids. That's where I've got issues with him, and he needs to learn. But why are we telling a 50-year-old man who keeps telling us how old he is and how much experience he's got how to do stuff? Like, it's crazy. But anyway, I don't want to talk. We talk about Poch too much, man. Fair play. Like, he did all right. He did well against Everton, right? He did his job. That's what we expect. So go and do it again against Man City. Make sure we're set up right and we play the right way to get a result there. Then we can start talking about him moving in the right direction.
Yeah, this is the thing, though. We've said this all season.
Yeah, let's see. If he doesn't learn, Kev, then it's the same conversation. If he learns,
we get a win, and we're like, can we build on the win? It never happens, bro. Let's
just see, because I saw something against Everton, which was a manager that obviously got his message across, and that's one of the first times this season I've seen that happen. Like, even when we've won games, he hasn't, like, you see United, right? I actually think we started the first 20 minutes against United similar to how we started against Everton, but then the players' heads dropped because that stupid Caicedo mistake. But then Poch couldn't get his message back across to the players because they were lacking confidence. Then it took a dogfight to get, obviously, back into that game and referee decisions, whatever it took, right? We ended up winning it. The way we started against Everton was a manager that had got his point across and it was executed to perfection, hence why we scored 6 goals and didn't let in 1. So let's see how his point comes across to them from Manchester City, and let's see if he can hold his nerve, because the 2 things that he's got wrong against Manchester City in the past are that, 1, he hasn't set us up for the whole game. He set us up to score 1 goal and then sit back, and 2, he couldn't hold his nerve. So let's see if he's learnt from his previous mistakes. And then we can start saying that he's moving in the right direction. But for now, I'm not seeing enough. I feel like that's 1 game out of 30 games that we've seen a perfected game plan.
Dan, today's the 18th of April, right? And the other day was the first time we've seen Madueke, Mudryk, and Jackson start together. That was the first time we've seen that front line. You know how crazy that is? You know how mad that is? Sterling's stinking out certain weeks and he will get another start, you know?
Yeah, but look, we can't lie. Like, Mudryk stunk it out. Mudryk stunk the gas out the other night.
Mudryk was hit hot and cold again, man. Like, I didn't think he stunk out in the place. I thought he was bad in parts.
The thing is in Mudryk, yeah, this is his game. You're playing against Seamus Coleman and Ashley Young on that side, yeah. This is what I said to him about, what's his name? Having a football, what's the word?
IQ.
Football IQ. If I'm playing against them, what do you think I'm going to do? He keeps on coming in. He's playing as a winger. I always see him coming inside all the time.
Yeah, it's true.
You know what I'm trying to say? As a winger, you should be dragging Ashley Young into a one-on-one position. His boots, what we say back in the day, your boots should have white on them. That's what we used to say to as a winger. Your boots should have white on them. I'll be bringing Ashley Young to the other side of the pitch to get him on a one-on-one. Do you think Ashley Young's catching Mudryk on a one-on-one? No, he isn't. So
that's what he was doing.
Why does he keep on coming inside to get the ball into traffic? We all know his dribbling and his awareness isn't that stature to read through. He's not a Hazard.
Do you think
he's a player where you get and he just runs down the wing and bombs into the box?
Do you think that's an instruction that's coming from Poch?
Nah, that's his football IQ. That's his football IQ.
I don't think that's fair to say, though, because I think this is a player that's young and inexperienced, and he's going, where's my biggest success come from in recent games? And it's been when I've come inside. It's been when I've played as a 10. So I think he's drifting inside because he feels like if he can get on the ball there actually is a lot of space. I feel like when Mudryk's isolated out on the wing, he isn't actually doing a lot. He isn't. It's got to be
inside.
His shots wayward, his pass. Huh?
It's got to be patient.
Yeah, but that's what we're saying. That's where no one's coaching him. That's why I don't think this is Pochettino's instruction to come inside and get on the ball there. I genuinely just think Pochettino allows his forwards to be free and kind of do as they please. I don't think there's much forward instructions at all in terms of Chelsea's setup because I've not seen any evidence.
Do you know what I'll say about
every goal we've ever scored under Poch is different.
One thing that I noticed, yeah, because I'll be real, I have seen Mudryk have games where he's tugging the touchline and getting chalk on his boots, like Kev's saying, yeah. Like even when we played Everton last time, ironically, he was cooking Ashley Young, bro, on that side. Ashley Young got booked quite early, if you guys remember, in that game. He was going wide. I remember against Bournemouth, he was going wide as well. But one thing that I said to Gemini in the other group chat, is we predominantly play off the right. Yeah, and Mudryk in large parts in the game was ghosting. Not because he's not trying to get on the ball, it's because we just kept going right. First few minutes, when he was getting on the ball, he nearly got an assist for Palmer. You guys forgetting that? He put it across the goal. And then Palmer did that thing with his body. If he just had to, if he just did that a little bit, a second later, it goes in. For Palmer's goal as well, when he scored the header, it was Mudryk that chopped it back to Jackson. And then Jackson shot, and then Palmer was there for the header. That was Mudryk again. That was like the first 10, 15 minutes. Because I even tweeted it saying, Mudryk started off well on that side. But again, like Dan said, ghosting in and out of the game. And one thing that I noticed, like I said, one thing about me personally, if I feel like I'm not really getting involved in the game and I'm on the wing, I always drift inside to try and pick up the ball in the pockets. So maybe there's that side of the game where it's like, bro, I'm not getting on the ball much. Let me try, and get inside. Because even for that pass,
he's got to use this.
When he switched the ball, Ken, did you see that switch that he did to Gusto? Yeah, that was him coming inside, bro, and then switching it across like that.
But he don't need to be doing that.
In the game, the bad parts in the game, he was getting the ball in certain parts. He was looking like he didn't know what to do with it. He was freezing. There was a part where he had the ball, he had so much time, and he let Seamus Coleman just pinch it off of him. And I'm like, come on, Mudryk, man. You're looking like you're in your shell today, You look like you're in your shell today.
It's just been, we've said this now for too long about Mudryk, bro. Like, I was fed up of saying it, bro. We need to get another winger, bro. Like, if he's going to continue to do this at the end of the season, we can't keep on making excuses of, he's quiet, he needs to come inside this and that. If he's just not doing it against Everton, he's not doing it against the Leeds second half, he's not doing it in most games, what's going to change next season, brother?
But Kev, you're not going to iron these things out without game time, unfortunately, bro. That's the reality of it. Yeah. He's not gonna learn to take these things out of the game without putting it into practice.
He doesn't get a consistent run of game.
Do you know what? Yeah. There's one player now who's absolutely cooking, and for a few years, Real Madrid was starting to question whether or not they'd wasted their money, and it was Vinny Jr. And then one season, it all just clicked. And I think that's what we're kind of hoping with Mudryk, is that one day it just clicks. I honestly, I genuinely feel like a loan is the best thing for Mudryk. I really, really do. I think if he went and got a loan, maybe out to Germany, maybe out to somewhere like that, where it actually benefits a winger's game. Look at Sancho, he's gone out there. Ian Maatsen, a wide player. There's a lot of space in Germany for wide players because of how they defend in these narrow presses that they have in that league. I feel like, why not go and play a whole game, a whole season, playing nearly every game, get minutes, come back a bit more of a man, and then see if you can do it after a season of understanding what it takes in some games. But the problem is, right, Mudryk will have a game where he doesn't do very well, but then he isn't played in the next game. So then he can't put it right.
Yeah.
And then it feels like, oh, come on, Mudryk, you're not learning. But actually, maybe I'm being harsh. So because he's never actually really been given the chance to learn, because when he messes up, and sometimes it's really bad, Sterling's back in, or Madueke's back in, or Conor Gallagher's put on left wing.
We just saw it against Sheffield, Dan. He got dropped, and then Gallagher starts on left wing, which is silly, bro. But I want to talk about Madueke, man, because this is a guy that for me has improved a lot in comparison to last season. What I like in my wingers, I've always loved wingers that are one-on-one demons. They want to take on their fullback every single time, and they're looking to create space for others. Because we're going into this era of football now where it's invert, Bukayo Saka, these guys, Salah, these guys. I'm tired of these sort of wingers. I want my guy to be running at his fullback. Like Doku said, I want the fullback to hate me by the end of the game, And Madueke, for me, I said from last season, he's our best one-on-one attacker. Do you know what I'm saying? Right? And even now, I think he's one of the best one-on-one attackers in the league. The way he attacks the fullback. So for me, he's more polished than Mudryk, but I'm not surprised by that because he was playing at a higher level. Before he joined Chelsea, he had more appearances than Mudryk at a higher level, playing for PSV, playing in the Europa League. He even played against Arsenal when PSV played Arsenal in the Europa League as well. He was playing with Gakpo over there. So I'm just hoping that he carries on getting his head down, man. I was disappointed that he acted like a brat the other day, but honestly, Madueke, this guy, his end product is improving as well. Do you know what I mean? The amount of space he creates for players. Like, I don't know if you guys saw it. There was a bit where he got the ball in our own half. He beat 3 players and they were all attacking him, and he released it to Caicedo, and there was so much space for Caicedo to work in because Madueke drew all these players in.
It's getting good. It's getting good, man. And there's like you said, you just said there, end products there. He's finishing it. Madueke is
so we
finishing.
said a couple of weeks ago.
I still believe though there was a slight bit of jealousy towards Palmer. I just get a bit of a vibe from them two. I think he's a
man. He's not jealous. Man. They're boys. They're boys, man. They're boys.
I don't know.
I've heard of people. I've heard a few people say that there's no jealousy between them, man. He loves him, man. He literally said this is why they call him Cold Palmer, innit? When we beat Luton, he loves him, bro. They're boys, like they're boys, man.
Yeah, but you would be though if your boy. Listen, come on, bro. Listen, let's be real. If your boy's killing it, banging in 4-3 goals, getting penalties, this and that, you're gonna be a bit like, come on, I want a bit of this. Everyone's talking about.
Nah, man, that's evil eye. That's cut them. If you've got them people in your life, cut them out. That's evil eye. That's what.
No, but Madueke, Kev is right though. Madueke is showing the ego of someone that has that attitude, Don.
Yeah, he is.
He is.
But him and Palmer.
That was snatching.
No, but him and
we had
Palmer.
this discussion.
No, but the thing is though, him and Palmer work quite well together. I think Madueke, obviously, he's young, yeah. Like he's not a kid, but he's young in football terms. What I think happened the other day is he obviously thought he won the penalty. That was first thing, and was winning by a couple goals. So he probably thought it was cool. And like I said, Palmer didn't get involved when Madueke took it. It's when Jackson got involved. That's when Palmer just kind of let him.
Yeah, no, Palmer was on the floor injured until then. So
actually, yes, that's true.
Okay,
that's true.
So we had this discussion a few weeks ago, yeah, and I said I do believe Madueke has a higher ceiling than Mudryk. I really do. I think the things I've seen Madueke do, if he can do that consistent basis week in, week out, we're looking at an unbelievable player. But obviously at PSV, injuries held him back, and then obviously at Chelsea, injuries, squad time, obviously in terms of match time, we've got players in his role and things like that. But I genuinely think there's a serious player in there. He has to drop the ego, though. And I think Kev's right. He probably is Palmer's boy. He probably is, like Don said, he's probably boys from under 21. But he's probably looking at it going, hang on a minute. I know I'm a better player than Cole.
Come on, bro, man.
I should be putting up these numbers. And
These
his
are young
ego
lads.
stinks. And you know
But the thing is, it's competition.
Let me finish. You hear, you know who else's ego stinks and was worse than Madueke with the penalty? Jackson. And I don't like that. I do not like that because maybe you want to score 15 goals, but you've done enough stat padding this season. Do something about it on the pitch. Your first goal was really good. Go and get another one. Don't rely on penalties. Don't rely on cheap hat tricks against a Spurs team that are just absolutely in the mud. I don't like that from Jackson at all. And the fact that he got escorted away by Thiago Silva and then ran back to push Palmer, I don't like that at all. And to be fair,
I don't even mean to laugh.
Both of them should have been dragged.
It was a clown show. It was a clown show.
Yeah.
But what is
all this comes on Pochettino. But don't talk about it.
Let's not even go back. I hear what you're saying, Kev.
Okay.
But I think the word jealousy is the wrong word. I don't think he's jealous of him. I think it's more competition. You know, I don't think he's looking at Cole Palmer and thinking, this, because jealousy is like a negative connotation, man. Obviously, as humans, we're naturally jealous of certain things and that, yeah. But like, I don't see Madueke being jealous of him. I think
it's more competition. But end of the day, you're both playing for the same team. There's no reason why on your ability that you couldn't be where Palmer is. End of the day, Pochettino's not blind. You would have, if you were the same caliber player as Palmer, you'd have the same number. Simple as that. You know what I'm getting to. Like I said, the ability's there, but like Dan said, the ego is over that. Like with Palmer, it's so laid back and chilled. It's laid back, lets the football do the talking. With Mudryk, there's a bit of a like, you know what I'm saying?
Madueke, yeah. Madueke is just Mandem. That's the best way to put it. If he's just Mandem. If you watch his interviews,
he boxes. Huh? He wears a short slow and he's just like that.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. He's Mandem. He's literally Mandem.
Come off the other day, he was just like boxing like he was on the road, like he's like, you get me, with his gloves on and like he's like.
The thing is though, Kev, I like that though, man. I'm tired of these robotic footballers. You know, the game was great today, and nah, man, I like to see a little bit of culture. Do you know what I'm saying?
He's Mandem. He's Mandem. No, he's Mandem.
At least he's hungry. That's the only thing I think we can find as a positive. Yeah, is that at least he's hungry. You know, there's players that shy away from that moment, and like Alex said, he didn't like that argument because Madueke stood there and tried to take that penalty before when he's won it. And do you know what? Sometimes there's an argument to be said that if you win and do what Madueke did against United, and then he did it again against Everton, he's winning that penalty. I mean, obviously, it's debatable that he probably didn't win it against Everton because I think they gave it for Palmer's in the end. But still, like, at least he wants it, There's players out there and players we've had in previous years gone by that don't have that type of hunger, and I rate that from him. But I do think, like Kev's saying, there's this egotistical side that the Chelsea supporters do not like. Hence why when he was trying to take the ball off of Jackson and then off of Palmer,
Don said
they were booing him.
I don't think it's ego, it's his personality.
Yeah.
Simple as that. It's he's like you said, he's from South London. He's like Zaha. He comes to Zaha.
Yeah.
He reminds me of him. They're just straight up
Kim,
like.
Dan, watch his interviews. I even watched the interview you did with Carney. They did a little bit of FA Cup content and that, and just how they're talking to each other. They're doing like all this drip check and whatever. They're just silly. They're just literally like, it reminds me of me and my boys growing up. That's why I can relate to him, because I know so many people like Madueke, and he doesn't seem like it's just his personality. Like he knows how good he is, which I like. Yeah, obviously I don't want him to think he's world class and that he's made it already, because really and truly he hasn't made it at Chelsea yet. No. He might be at Chelsea at the minute, but he ain't made it yet.
Palace is still on the horizon, mate. I've said it from the beginning.
He's got a lot. Yeah, it's definitely a Palace sort of winger, innit? It's definitely a Palace sort of winger.
Things can fall off real quick. Things can fall off real quick.
I'm telling you,
Dan's right. He needs to make the football do the talking now, because fans will get onto him. If he carries on the way he is and the numbers are not there, the fans will get on his back, and that's when he's out. Maybe get your numbers up like Palmer, let your football do the talking, and then maybe the ego, so we won't care about, because we've had players with similar egos that have had quality, and we've looked past that. Look at Salomon Kalou, for instance. Look at the ego he had and stuff. Like, he thought he was better. You know what I'm trying to say? But he's to come in, he's to shine, he's to score goals. You know, look,
Lampard, John Terry, Drogba. You're going to tell me they didn't have egos? Of course they did. That's the reason why they wouldn't let Kevin De Bruyne and Salah settle on them sort of players, because they had egos. They knew they were being threatened, and they had egos and said no, and they didn't want to mix in with the group and things like that. And that's why those sort of players left. But they'd already done the talking. Madueke's coming with this ego, and he's done the talking at under 21 level. Like, come and do it week in, week out, instead against Luton and instead of the other sort of games. Like, I need to see a bit more from him before he can start displaying that ego. If it's his personality, fair enough, but you got to learn, kid. You do have to learn, even if it's in your personality. And you know what? Fair enough. Like Don says, at least he backs himself, and at least he's hungry. But go and prove it on the pitch first. And then when you're putting up 20 goals a season, Palmer numbers, then I'll let you have a bit of an ego. Because you know what? If Cole Palmer had come in from City and started doing gun signs and gang signs up to the crowd without doing anything, I'd have said, who is this kid? But you know what? When he's as cold as he is and he's displaying the talent that he is, everyone will be like, you know what? You can do what you want. You can do what you want. Because look at the numbers you're putting up.
Football's evolving. Football's evolving.
Of course it is, Kev. Of course it
is. Palmer comes along and he's like this, putting up gun signs.
Yeah.
It's
I love it.
I don't mind that if he's putting up 30 GA. Do you know what I mean?
I'm just saying. For me personally, I've got time for Madueke, man, because like I've said, I'm seeing football going down a route that is a dangerous one. These inverted wingers. I'm tired of them. We need more Maduekes coming up. We need a lot more of them.
True, because there ain't many better in the league that now, especially with players like Mahrez and that departing, and St. Maximan, like one-on-one, Madueke's up there. I just need to see more of it.
He is, bro.
Because whenever he goes one-on-one, I wouldn't want to be the fullback up against him, because 9 times out of 10, he's dusting you. Like, he is.
He won a penalty against... He came off the bench. He won a penalty against United. You know, think of the goals he scored. Remember against Luton, that banger he scored. Against Sheffield, that should have been the winner. You know what I mean?
Mate, under 21 highlights, by the way, Don. Every time he goes away, the stuff he's doing is disgusting.
Crazy, bro.
Disgusting.
It's clear to see he's too good for that level.
Yeah, he is too good for that level. So he just needs to... He's never going to break into the higher level and be consistently in teams if he can't lose the ego. Because as much as football's evolving, the managers aren't. And they aren't going to let a player with ego like that disrupt their team. Okay. They need to be managed, and they need to be coached, and it needs to be sorted out in the right way. But for me, a person with a worse ego, Jackson. I dislike what Jackson did more than I dislike what Madueke did.
Moving on anyway, boys. Anyway, obviously, City last night, we all know, we just talked about early in the show, lost against Real Madrid on penalties last night. Kovacic missing the penalty, and Antonio Rudiger coming up with the goods, knocking them out. Going into the game, predictions, lads. Starting lineup. How do you feel we'll get on in the final Saturday?
I'm going to go straight for the prediction. I'm going to say 2-1 Chelsea in extra time.
Bloody hell, man.
Look, if there's a game we're going to get a win against Man City, it's this game. We literally just said, Don just said he'd rather play Man City now than any of the other teams.
True.
For me, this is the cup final. If you play against United, you play well, you win that game. Coventry, that's fairly obvious. I don't see why you guys drop your heads as soon as I said that.
What about you, Dan? What are you
Where's
feeling
the
like going into
confidence?
What are you feeling like?
Yeah, Dan, I want to hear Dan's prediction.
Yeah, so I'll be honest, yeah. If City had beat Real Madrid, I'd have backed us to win. But because they didn't, I feel like there's no way they don't win this game. The only way I think, and this is where I could agree with Alex, if it goes extra time, I'd back Chelsea's squad to be fitter. Because 2 extra times in a week, that's a lot of football. So that would be the only way I'd see Chelsea winning it is to actually potentially drag it into extra time. But I feel like Haaland's going to turn up, man, because he's been disappearing for ages. Like it's about time he did. He got dragged at 90 yesterday, didn't he? So I feel like it's about time.
Don, how are you feeling going into it, Don? Do you think we can bring it home
out, by the way?
Get past that final bit and get to the final. What do you feel?
Man, I don't know, man. I've just got this gut feeling that we're gonna beat them, man. I've just got this gut feeling. I don't know what it is, bro. I'm just praying. Like right now, it's a bit of hopium. It's a bit of hopium and just, I don't know, a slight little bit of belief in it. A slight little bit of belief. Only because I've seen how we played against Man City.
You know they outplayed Real Madrid though, Don, innit?
Of course they did. Of course they did. Yeah, but then look what happened though. Real Madrid were literally playing a low block, bro.
Real Madrid started football last night is exactly how I want us to emulate.
Nah. Did you not see? Listen. Well,
if we get a win, I don't care if we play like Real Madrid last night. Sit in his space. I don't care. I don't care. As long as we win, play like that. I don't care. I'll take a win.
Yeah, I've got. I don't know, man. Like I said, it's a bit of hopium. Obviously, like I can never go Wembley and predict my team to lose, man. You know, we're Buki. That's the word. That's the best word to use for Chelsea. We're a Buki team. So yeah, I'm gonna say, man, who's gonna have their shooting boots on, man? The thing is, we're scoring goals at the minute. Scoring goals ain't a problem for us at the minute. That's the thing. It's just keeping them out on the other side.
Come on, Dom, man. Let us know, man. Come on.
All right. 2-1 Chelsea, man. 2-1 Chelsea.
Yes.
Come on,
in 90 minutes, Don.
Finishing off.
In 90 minutes, yeah, man. I don't think it goes extra time this time round. I can't lie. I think we'll be 90.
I think 3-1 City. I think we're going to lose.
Oh, Kev. Oh my!
I have no hope.
Bro, Haaland's not playing well at the minute, right? And he's not playing well at the minute. If you look at his performances, KDB's legs are all over the place. Like I'm
going off the last game. I'm going off what's in last night. And the way they play last night, if they play anything similar to that on Saturday, I think it's a bit too much for us. I think it's
we're familiar with them, man.
I don't think Will Hart was disciplined. Ancelotti is a ball. He puts that into the team, that discipline. I don't think
Real Madrid. Yeah, but the thing is, okay, Real Madrid ain't got a striker. So at the minute, when I watch them, they're very imbalanced, man. They're so imbalanced.
Rodrigo or Vinicius, either one of the three.
But that front three rotating, there's no striker, bro. Like it's not fluid up there. So I that's what I'm saying. We can put out a more balanced lineup than Real Madrid at the minute. I know Real Madrid have game winners like Vinicius, Rodrigo, but they have not got a link up man up there. Really and truly, when I'm saying
they've got experience and a core. What we have,
but bro, listen, it's fine. That's what you're saying.
The managerians onto the look. The tone of thought took.
I agree with it.
Brought a Mudryk.
Hold on, let me let my point. Two things can be true at once. Yes, they do have experience, but what I'm saying is they don't have the most balanced team right now. Next season, I think they will with Endrick, with Mbappe, all these guys, right? But as it stands, I'm not surprised that Man City were peppering them the way they were because they were just sitting back and their shape was a bit all over the place, man. I'll be honest with you.
They was just filling the spaces. So say if the right centre back, left centre back, left back were there, Tony Cruz sitting, Carvalho push across. They're just filling in the gaps. But they was doing it smartly because they know that's where Bernardo Silva would pick up positions. That's where Grealish picks up positions. Because with Man City, they like to just swap over. De Bruyne will come there, Bernardo Silva will drop there, and then Bernardo Silva go there, De Bruyne will drop there. Just keep on swapping over. So they know if they drop into positions and fill the gaps, there's no gaps to exploit. I don't think us right now, we've got the capability, the mental capability, and the concentration to be able to do that. So that's the reason why I think they'll beat us, unfortunately.
Well, I'm saying 2-1 Chelsea. Like I said, it's not even a confident 2-1. It's more hope at the minute. Now, like I
can't hope. I just have to keep real. I have to keep it real.
I'm keeping it real. I'm keeping it real. I'm just saying. I've seen us perform well against Man City. This is not just blind faith. It's not blind faith. I've actually seen us perform well against Man City. So I'm hoping that we replicate that performance and we beat them. We need to get over the line this time around, man.
Yeah, I want it bad.
Yeah.
Well, that was a good episode, guys. Listen, people, if you've been watching for the full hour, thank you so much. Lots of different debates. If you agree or disagree with any of the points myself, Don, Dan, or Kev have said, let us know in the comments. It's always interesting to hear what you have to say. And if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do. Everyone else's channels are down in the description, so go and check them out. And pray for Chelsea. Let's get the win into another domestic cup final. All the best, guys.